does that mean?
The magic bullet.
Darker now.
You
So
buy a course, and it's the magic bullet. It's gonna get you right there.
magic bullet with a
All
couple
right,
question
guys.
marks. Three of them.
Welcome to the
A lot
Freakers in
better than me.
Control show.
Yeah.
You got me, you got Will, Lee, Stride. So, anyway, today's topic's gonna be the magic bullet, kind of topic around basically. I can't think as well as that beat playing. It's throwing me off with a little ding. But it's basically how people will, really buy into a lot of these courses, not follow them, but really their whole reason for buying them is thinking that they're the magic pill, the magic bullet, the magic thing that's going to help them get to wherever they want to be. And if they just have to buy a expensive course or go to a class or take some sort of seminar, that's going to get them there faster. And you notice some of these people that never get anywhere, they don't actually want to do the work. They think that if they just buy the course, that's enough. That's what gets them there. That's what gets them to the next thing. And so they then think they're now an expert in that area, in that field, and then they can talk about it because they've been to so many courses and they've taken so many courses. Yet they take zero action. They don't actually do anything that the course teaches. It's like paying for the treasure map, yet you don't actually walk the steps and wonder why you bought the map and you didn't get the gold. It's like you have the treasure map, you know where it is, but now you have to follow the map. And most people are addicted to just going, I'll spend the money. I want whatever it is and I'm willing to pay for that. It's like unfortunately you can't pay to be where you're trying to be. And a lot of people will do that and they're addicted to that. So you'll see them buying the course thinking, oh, I paid for this course and I've done these seminars and I paid all this cash to be wherever it is that I want to be because they told me they would get me that. But they think that it ends at buying the course. When it doesn't end at buying the course, you got to then do the work, and the course kind of just helps you navigate through and kind of helps you have a couple, waypoints as to where you're trying to go. And you follow that, So today's kind of dedicated to that piece. What do you think, Will?
Buying your way to success. I've gotten caught in this too. You know, I paid $500 for a program a few years ago, thinking this was going to be, not necessarily this is going to be the quicker way, but just a way to promote my music. And I did like 5 or 6 Facebook ad campaigns, and that was it. But what you got to watch out for is spending all this money thinking, well, I'm investing in my success, therefore I'm going to be successful, and then think you can just sit there and just spend money on it, but cheat yourself out of having to do all the action that it takes to get there. You can't compensate your actions. You can't compensate the action it's going to take lining up with what you want compared to, well, I could just spend money on these courses on how to be successful, and that's going to get me to be successful alone. You can't cheat the recipe of your mindset and your actions. Now, you can help it by coming across something that you think would be valuable knowledge that can help you along the way, but just know this isn't a recipe to get you there quicker. This is a recipe maybe to help line up what you're trying to do, maybe build contacts and shake elbows, and maybe some of the tools. The tool like the daily takeoff checklist is an actual tool you need, but you still have to read it and write it down and follow the steps, create your main game, take your act, figure out your next logical hustles, and then go and do them, all while feeling good about thinking about the main game. You know what I mean? You can't bypass that by paying for something else that you think might, is going to be another answer. there's always going to be multiple ways you could possibly get there, but there isn't a way technically that just magically gets you there quicker. Pick something, put your attention and action towards it, make sure it lines up, and do it long enough that you get to the results you want.
Yeah, you'll notice a lot of people, they actually they'll actually, I mean, their full thing is buying those things, and they're addicted to buying those things, thinking that that gets them there, and then they think that they're the expert now. That I've read 500 courses and I've read a million books. It's like, yeah, but you apply any of that information. So a lot of people literally think that they're ahead of you because they've taken a course or read a few books. It's like, well, the guy who's actually went out and experienced some of this stuff because they took action, whether he read a book or not, ends up a lot of times getting further than the person that's more knowledgeable. The guy that takes more action gets further than the guy that's more knowledgeable, because the guy who sits there with his knowledge but doesn't apply that to an action is in the same place as a person that has no knowledge and takes the same amount of action. He just got a brain full of information that's useless. So I just notice a lot of people, especially based on how what I do, I'm constantly in touch with people that are trying to do something bigger than a 9 to 5 or something like that. A lot of entrepreneurs and musicians and things of that nature. And I just see, like, they're just addicted to I'm going to a seminar, I'm doing 4 days over here, and I'm doing this thing. And it's like, you're doing 4 days there, but everything they fucking tell you to do, and I told myself I wasn't going to cuss, but everything they tell you to do, you're not doing any of it. You just took the course. What are you doing about it? You're not actually physically doing any of the stuff that is that way. You think that you buy a course and that all of a sudden you're there. And a lot of people, their only reason is that they would rather spend all their money to get there than actually take any effort to do it. They'll spend all their cash, their hard-earned money, just going, I don't care how much money it is, and they're going to put the most money on it, hoping to do less work. So a lot of people are addicted to buying those to do nothing. They're thinking that if I buy these, I have the shortcut. So they're not buying the how, they're buying the shortcut. But how to build a house isn't the shortcut on how to build a house. When you read a book on how to complete the Rubik's Cube, that isn't the shortcut on how to complete the Rubik's Cube. That is just how. There's no shortcut. It's not the shortcut, it's how. So a lot of people confuse the how with the shortcut. If I know how, that's the shortcut. It's like, not necessarily. You still got to do the thing. How to build a song, or how to build a house. It's like, so you get the whole thing: foundation, framing, siding, plumbing, electrical, blah, 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 roof. And you still have to do all the actions that it takes to do that. You just now are pointed in the right direction. And so a lot of people just go, hey, I just bought a whole blueprint on how to build a house. Oh, shortcut. I'll have a house tomorrow. It's like, no, you still got to build the house. You still got to get the materials. You still got to put it together. You got to put in the effort. And there's a lot of people that are not buying these courses for the right reason. And so we're trying to urge you to do, especially when we're going to be dropping some materials, and Will's been working hard at it, the daily checkoff sheet, these things, don't take those thinking they're the magic bullet. These are the key, the major key on the how, but you have to actually follow the recipe. People go, I got a recipe on how to make a cake, and wonder why they're not eating it. And like, you still got to go through the ingredients, put it together, cook it, wait for the time for it to the bread to rise and all that stuff. It just doesn't, you don't buy a recipe and the food just ends up in your lap. That's just not how it works. You got the recipe, not the shortcut. And so when we talk daily checkoff sheet, that's the recipe, not the shortcut. And so people think they're buying the shortcut and then are mad at the information for not getting there. You're buying the recipe, not the shortcut. And most people are paying for the shortcut. In their head, they're all in. Hell yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Oh man, Lamborghini. That's like, no, you don't. You're not paying. You're not paying for the shortcut. You know, and a lot of people do that. I notice it with the people I deal with and interact with on a regular basis. You know, it's like, I'm like, why are you paying for 7 courses? Oh, where are you going to another course for? You haven't applied the first 10 fucking courses you already took. Like, apply that information, and then those people think that they're the, for lack of better terminology, the aficionado. I know all this stuff now, and you can't tell me you're not doing what you need to be doing. It's like, well, physically you can see you're not actually doing any of the stuff that you're following. So again, people buy the course thinking they're buying the shortcut. They buy the book thinking they're buying the shortcut, and also think they don't have to do anything. And it's super super scary when you think about that. People just drop mad money, and I've been there before. But you know, I wasn't trying to buy the shortcut, but I've been there before where I'm like, hell yeah, I'll know how to engineer. This Khalid Gover guy, he's guy engineers for Michael Jackson and those people, Herbie Hancock and all them. And you know, he had a course. He had all these sales guys on the phone, and I'm on a phone with them, and I'm got my credit card out, paying like $600 for this course that I never freaking used. But I thought, hell yeah, that's gonna help me mix better. But no, not unless I actually take these courses, follow it through, and actually do what I need to do to get better. And I never did. And so I just gave them $600. And a lot of these course building companies and these people giving out the information are getting mad bread. And nobody's following up and trying to use the information. And so they're just selling it, and people are buying it just going, heck yeah, and then when I'm ready, I'll do it. So they'll buy the course now, but never do anything with the information. You know? Hell, I'm not innocent of this either. I've got a whole book thing of how to play gospel piano, and they still have the plastic wrap wrapped over the top of them. They've been there for freaking at least 11 years. You know, like, I bought the course on how to play gospel piano. You get me on the piano, and I'm not going to be, you know, Stevie Wonder or nothing. But, you know, people buy it thinking it's the shortcut, and it's just not that. You have to put in the work, and people are just addicted to spending money, thinking that's going to get me there. That's what it is. That's the thing. It's like, no, if you're doing it for fast and speed, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Remember, whatever you're trying to do, it's going to be hard. It's going to suck. For instance, I was up against something today that was surprisingly easy. It only took me 45 minutes to get done, and I've been putting it off for 3 weeks. Starting it, writing it on my list to do, and then thinking, okay, my wife gets home in like 2 hours. I'm like, I don't have enough time to do that whole thing on my marketing thing I got going. It's going to take at least a couple days. I got it done in 45 minutes, but I put it off for hella, trying to figure it out. But you have to actually write like some sort of schedule to execute the action and do it. And people are surprised, but my whole point of all this stuff is, at the beginning, to finally get it done today and just tackle it, was, look, it's going to suck. It's going to be hard. You're not going to know what you're doing at first. You're going to be spinning your wheels. You're going to be doing a bunch of research. You're going to be lost. And that's how it works, dude. I told myself that in the kitchen, went to go, start on it and just go spinning my wheels for the next 6 hours. 45 minutes later, I was completely done. And I was like, oh, shit. But I had the mindset that, look, it's going to be hard. You're going to not know how. I try to explain it to my kids, too. Like, when they're playing guitar, it's like, hey, your hands are going to hurt. You're not going to be like, I do not have the coordination. It's not going to make a good sound. It's going to suck for a long time. and then there's going to be one day it starts to sound good, and then you're going to be sold, and you're going to keep going. But you have to get yourself past that tough, awkward situation. And a lot of people aren't willing to put in the work and understand the effort. Why is this so hard? I bought the course. This course sucks. No, you just don't understand what it takes to get somewhere higher, to level up. You've got to break the mold. You got to break your cycles. You got to break your bad behaviors, and people just don't understand that. They literally are. But so people are addicted to buying courses. So a lot of people are looking for that shortcut. My big thing is to say that you're going for something big. expect to do the work, a lot of work. In fact, there's this thing I watched on J. Cole. He just put out a thing on himself, how he removes himself from his house and goes to these little crappy places where he used to start making music to make him feel like he hasn't made it yet. Lives in these little apartments and then works on the music and then goes to the studio and he writes a verse every day. And one day he was like, he didn't make it to the NBA, right? Because he was trying to get to the NBA and realized all he was trying to do was act like Iverson and shake people like Iverson, and instead of actually doing the 1,000 freaking jumpers and doing 1,000 free throws and doing a thousand, between the leg dribbles. And he just, I didn't do any of that work. And I realized that that's the reason I didn't make it. This is J. Cole saying this just recently. I thought it was amazing. And he's just like, that's the reason I didn't make it. And then I started realizing that with music too. Did I put in the time to really get it? And he goes, that's really what helped me with my music get to the next level. Cause he realized he's out partying and hanging out with the homies. He goes, even my homies had an intervention. He goes, I was smoking and drinking. And he goes, I was a little buzzed. My homies came out and were like, hey, we want to talk to you, man. You say you want to do all this stuff with music, yet you're out here hanging out with us, partying and drinking and doing all, how's that going to get you there? And then he realized that day, hey, I got to sit down and put in all the work and sit there and work. And it's not going to be fun while everybody's out and doing their thing. And I just think people don't realize how much work is ahead of them, and they're hoping that there's some other way. Where can I just accidentally get to where I'm trying to go? And trust me, I want to win the lotto too. I hope I get rich off stocks. But be prepared to work hard. Be prepared for the journey. Know it takes a long time. Nobody climbs Mount Everest without packing mass packs. They do a year or two's worth of research and training and getting ready for that journey up that thing. Got a whole crew there. It's a strategy. They don't just go, I'm just going to put a pack on, start climbing up Mount Everest. That's just not how it works. They got planning. They got a lot of stuff involved in that, and they're ready for that hard work for that whole journey. They get sponsors. There's a lot to it, And you got to be prepared for that too when you're going into it. Don't just think there's going to be a magic pill. There isn't one, I think it's funny when people do get the magic pill. Like, for instance, I can engineer, mix, master, make beats, produce, do your videos. I can do everything for people. And I'll get people that come to me and all they got to do is show up and do their little song. And you can't even get them past that. They're not even willing to do that when they like understand my journey. I had to learn to mix, master, engineer, make beats, get good at songwriting, buy the equipment. You get people, I'll bring them in and they don't have to do anything but whatever they say they're good at rapping. And you can't even get them to do that work, which is sit down with the pen and piece of paper and write the song. So just know anything great's going to take a lot of work. A lot of work, time, effort, action, discipline. Every second makes you want to do something else. You have to buckle down and sacrifice.
When I first got this information, all I did was study and study and listen and listen and study and study and listen, and was 100% consumed by it. And it got to a point to where I was so obsessed with learning, I was taking zero action towards implementing the tools and techniques I was learning. And it wasn't until I started implementing, taking action on what I was learning, did things really start changing. To know and not to do is not to know. I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. That went over your head. To know and not to do is not to know. If you know what you need to do, but you're not doing it, you might as well just not know it. There isn't a magic. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on information and techniques if you don't actually take the time to apply it and do those things, do those right things consistently and long enough for it to manifest success in your life. I mean, no matter what it is, it's almost like it doesn't matter what you pick. You can buy 100 programs and put them right here on the table. You can close your eyes and you can pick one. 100 of them. You can close your eyes and you can pick one and stick to it and do it and be successful. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily all the how and the vehicles getting caught up in how you're going to do it. You know, it's man, it's utilizing what you're learning. You know, and I think about something else Robert said is think about all the people. I've done it too. I'm a victim of this exact topic, but think about all the times people are buying these things and not even opening it and reading it. You know what I mean? But here's another thing that they're paying for. They're paying for and they don't even open it. And the other person just didn't even have to, man.
It's exactly like your gym membership. I paid for a gym membership for 10 years. I never even went to the damn gym. But I paid for it because I thought, I'm not going to give up hope because I know I want this, but I never put in the work. And guess what? I'm fat with a 10-year-long gym membership. What's the point?
You know, not even, see what I mean? And here's the thing, though, too, is I've given people this information for free, and well, it was given to me, right? It was passed down to me. I passed this information to some other people that I thought, man, I was excited to give it to, and they never even listened to it at all. And I'm like, I'm blown away. How can you, I passed you something, and I'm talking to you every day about this mindset stuff, and you're not even, and you can see where I've been and gone and growing, and you're not even willing to just listen to it? I gave a homegirl a book, Think and Grow Rich. Never even read it all.
Yeah, but that's a 0.01 of the battle. It's like once they read it, they don't even apply it.
It's not even.
You can't even get them to read the book, let alone freaking apply it.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, so there's two ways. Like, you know, people invest in their success and then not even look at it. And then you can give people the recipe and they won't even look at the recipe to go buy the ingredients to put it together. And you're like, and you're just like stuck, like, man, where are the people that I need to surround myself with that can elevate me with this kind of stuff?
They're
man.
rich already. So the
I need to get around that.
That's tough, right? And so that's the same thing. A lot of people will have the recipe for a gourmet meal, and buy this, you know, what's that lady's? Who knows? She does like French cooking, like I don't remember her name, but anyway, but they'll have the cooking book with like the most fancy, you know, gourmet meals, and they'll throw the book on the ground and go, that takes a lot of work. Screw that, and then go buy some McDonald's because that's the magic bullet. It's quick to get done. You're full and they're over it. That's just that way. No, let me just DoorDash some McDonald's. Screw it. You know. Yeah, they're like wondering why they don't eat any, you know, magical shit. And some people say, fuck that, I'll just go to 7-Eleven and get a freaking spicy dog. So that's the thing, is that pure laziness when you know how to make yourself something good. And I've only started I cook all the time, but like the last few days, like I look in the pantry and I go, I just eat a bagel raw, like just like something to get tide me over. But I'm like, dude, I've got avocados here. I've got these chives. I've got like tomato here. I got like filet mignon I just made last night that was extra. I could slice it up, and then cream cheese, and then make myself like a badass like bagel sandwich with all this stuff. And so I do, and then I put some jalapenos on it. I hooked it up. It was the most fire sandwich ever. And it's like, but most of the time it would just be eat a tortilla, eat a bagel, because you're so lazy you don't want to do the work when you could just have a maximum dope time if you just put in a little effort, you know. I put a little effort in, and next thing you know, I'm like, that's the most fire sandwich I've ever eaten, you know.
It's not the money you spend that gets you there, man. It's it's your mindset lining up with what you want, and taking the correct actions as much as humanly possible.
Blood, sweat, tears. Lock in. Lock in. And
Okay, people think it's easier to get up and go to that job. And yes, it may be easier. It is. It is easier to force. Okay. It is easier for someone else to tell you when to go to work, tell you when to go to break, tell you when to go to lunch, when to go home, and when to come back the next day. It is
because
easier
you
to live
won't
your life
hold
like that.
yourself because you won't hold yourself
Man,
accountable.
tell me that ain't the scariest shit. It's easier than to fucking grind it out, go through the hardships, go through the uncertainties.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people. They want the
Oh,
easiest way,
man,
so they go, well, this
man.
guy has work. I'll
Tell me
help
how
him.
scary that can be.
I'll help this guy complete his vision. I have almost they're thinking guaranteed check, but that's not true. But I have a check. They won't hold, or I won't hold me accountable, but they will. If I don't get there on time, they'll write me up. It's like me, I work for myself, right? And I have to get up and be disciplined on my own. I mean, I could just lay there and be like, nah. But I go, nope, I'm getting up. I got to get my shit done. I got to take care of this stuff. Or somebody else will make me get up and tell me what to do, and then fire me or make me, you know, write me
Fire
up.
me, and then I would be forced to do what I would rather be doing. Man, this is some fucked up
Yeah,
shit.
it's a mind fuck. And you know what's funny?
The language.
It is what's funny is it's like uh the bottom line is like a lot of people they just go there's a job for me. They have work for me. They are going to pay me whatever it is. Yes, it's way less than I can make working for myself, and I don't have to think. I just show up, work there, collect the paycheck, and then go home, pay it all to my bills, and I get a little piece enough to eat, enough to put gas in my car. And if I'm really lucky, enough to go to the movies, once every 2 months. Enough to have a Netflix thing.
Modern day slavery, man.
It's straight up slavery. But it's slavery by choice. So
It is my choice.
that's the thing is, it's because it's easier. It's easier because you have to do no thinking. They'll deliver you a check, and they tell you exactly what you need to do, and they'll train you.
It may be easier, but tell me how that's like way more fun and enjoyable.
People don't like the scariness that
How is
comes
it
with.
way more fun and enjoyable for someone else to tell you when to get ready and go to work and go home and come back the next day? How is that more enjoyable than you doing something you would rather be doing?
Now, this is for people who are not in transition and working towards what you're trying to do, and putting an effort in the
Correct.
job
I
is
mean,
is
I have a
floating you.
job,
Yeah.
so but I have a job for a reason because it's helping me get to not having have that job anymore. It's a stepping stone, right? You know, and but it's a slippery slope too. Like I said last week, I get caught up. I get caught up because I'm more of the thinking aspect, not more. I take a lot of action too, but I'm so much more lined up with the thought process. You know, to find myself, like I said last week, man, thinking all the time how enjoyable how good it feels succeeding at basic shit. You know what I mean? Here I am, and not to mention, but however, it's okay to feel good about what you're doing and succeeding in what you're doing because it makes you just that much more realize, man. If I when I take all these tools that I'm succeeding here, that isn't equally me succeeding in my life other than the basic stuff, then there is no sky, there is no roof, there is no limit to what I could do outside of that box I'm stuck in. Not stuck in, I am grateful to be in. But I know that all this stuff, all the action I'm taking and everything I'm thinking about outside of there, that this job is allowing me to live a life that I live comfortably so I can put in the time to always be able to do my own thing and bigger things. So don't ever knock yourself, but you know, hopefully those of you that are working those jobs and do have bigger dreams know that you can achieve them if you start changing your mindset and start taking different actions than the basic actions you've been taking. And you can start to change, you can start to channel what's coming in bigger than what you're currently doing. That's why this information is so important. That's why this daily takeoff checklist that is in the link in this video is important for free. They just read it. Read it and you will be different. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I don't even understand why we have to have so many conversations on how utilizing these tools equals success in our lives. You know, it should be like we should be having conversations about I am so glad I no longer have to deal with this kind of stuff. You know, why do we even have to have conversations about why you're not doing these things? Why you're not, why you wouldn't download this daily takeoff checklist and just read it one time. If it could possibly change, if it could possibly start the process in yourself, I could tell you to download it. I can't make you read it. I can't make you write down your main game and your next logical hustles to achieve your next goal. I can't make you do that. But I can give you the tool that you can do it for yourself and unlock your own inner abilities to achieve anything you want in your life. How can you not download it and read it? How can you not? It's like this. You want the opportunity to have a tool that can just change your everyday, just make you a happier person and have a nice day, then you should check it out. If you have everything you already have in everything you want in your life, you currently already have, and you don't want anything more, and you don't want to grow at all, then you should turn this podcast off and go watch something else. Or you might need to redefine your dreams and start thinking bigger. Maybe you're not thinking big enough, and you need to start doing the exercise that I'm going to be submitting here soon. I'm just in the crazy, in the crazy zone of accomplishing an action right now. It's pretty exciting. But man, I don't know what else to say on this. It's not that difficult. And I'm coming out with an audio series here that's kind of explains a little bit more in depth this daily takeoff checklist, so you can kind of get a more of a bigger picture. But you can take this and read this and already start your changing your life and creating your own momentum cycle. Just by reading.
It starts with your morning. Again, not to be cliche, when the morning, when the day, when the week,
100%.
when the month, when the
I just
year,
got my job right now.
life,
My job, there's been a lot going on, and new guy and this and that, and I'm trying to relieve some of the pressures of some of the things that needs to be done in the mornings. So I asked to start coming in earlier to relieve some of the pressure off of him, so he can just come in and start working and start selling and not have to worry about some of the small stuff. Plus it also allows me to show some initiative and leadership at my job, and hopefully kind of rub off on some of the other people as well. Just initiative and leadership, and just good habits to acquire and utilize. And your daily work is the best way to utilize initiative and leadership habits. But now I'm getting some earlier shifts, sevens, and I'm like, man, usually, my shifts has been 10 to 7. So I've had my mornings to, read my morning blast and listen to this music and pace up and down my home, thinking of this comic book story I'm looking at on my wall right now, and just starting feeling good about what's coming and what I'm doing to get that barrier for the day. But now starting at 7, right, I'm like, man, now I got to switch up my morning routines, man. I'm starting earlier, man. I was like, wait, I like coming in later. You know what I mean? So I can have a stronger morning. Now I got to get up instead of 5. I need to ring that alarm at 4. You know what I mean? Because now I got to be at work by 7. Everything's changed, but all I'm thinking of, what? I just have to get up earlier. I'm going to get off earlier and be able to put more work in before I need to go to bed and do it again. And just, oh man, I don't know where I was going with that. But just utilizing, something changes in your life, you change your strategy to continue what you're doing above the basic stuff.
Yeah, same with me. Like I started finding myself. I started noticing myself not, or it being like very. I had to be very, and I still doesn't matter. I have to be very, every second I have to keep going with the plan or I won't achieve or get done what I'm trying to get done for the day. And it's like, fuck, I could fuck off a half hour here and then an hour there and then a half hour there and then realize I didn't get a bunch of the stuff done. And then it starts to wear on me and I start doubting myself. And I started going, well, you're pushing it too close because you got to be a little human, right? You got to be able to relax a little bit. But then I thought, well, what if I was to wake up early? If I had a regular job where I worked for someone else, I would have to be up at like 5 every morning. Why am I getting up at 7:20? Like, so I started getting up at 5 going, that's going to give me like 2.5 hours extra every day. And you add that for a week, it's some number, wherever the math is on that. But, the bottom line is that's quite a bit of time that I get towards what I'm doing. Sure, I go to bed earlier, but I started realizing by the end of my day, I'm kind of tired. So like Will was saying, you adjust your day a little bit, be flexible to change your routine to accommodate your dream. Change your routine to accommodate your dream.
That's it. That's the fitness right there.
Write that down.
I'm writing it right now.
So change your routine to accommodate your dream. So the bottom line is, I noticed that at the end of my night, you have to reverse engineer your day, right? I noticed at the end of my day, I am a rapper, bars, bitch. So anyway, like, like you got to know at the end of your day, you're tired, you're kind of beat. It's hard to get more out of yourself at the end of your day. You're just like, man, stay up from 9 to 11 and get this stuff done. I'm kind of like worn out. So go to sleep then. Go to sleep at 9 and then just get up earlier. Go to sleep at 9 and get up earlier. Crack on that shit early. And so what I noticed myself doing was saying, look, instead of burning the candle at the end of the night, I go to bed. Like I went to bed at 8 o'clock yesterday, or like 7:30. I just said, fuck it, went to bed. I haven't been drinking, so I just been like, well, what am I doing sitting up? I ain't drinking, like, might as well go to bed and start killing it, like, so I go to bed, wake up early and feel like $1 million, and then crack on my day and get all my work stuff done. So my whole job is done by like 9:30 now. And I'm like, well, shit, now I have more time to crack on the stuff I want to get done. And then I don't have to be so fine-tuned. Whereas I'm like, dude, if I miss 15 minutes or I get a little tired or I get sidetracked or my stepdad texts me because we've been doing all these stock things and investments and stuff, and he starts hitting me up, next thing that's a half hour, then someone else calls me. I can't even afford to take a phone call from someone because that's how tight my days are. I can't have somebody sidetrack my day because it'll throw my day off that bad. Like to where I'm like, man, I don't have a half hour to screw off. I'm like, I write my days so tight that they're doing that. So I started going, well, maybe that's unreasonable to tighten up your day so tight that you're just like a robot. And so I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get up early and get all this shit out of the way. So now I can be a little bit more loose during the day. Not a lot, but a little bit more loose. Well, what happened today? I knocked everything out early in the morning. I started cracking today. I knocked out something in 45 minutes. Next thing I started buying time. Before I got on this podcast, I had finished some beats, did some mixing, got a bunch of stuff done. My wife came home. She's like, we're going to Riders softball game. I'm like, well, I got the podcast. I got to be back in time. And either you're cutting it within a half hour. I don't have time enough to set up the cameras and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, that just bought me 3 more hours without my family sitting around in my house bitching. Now I'm going to finish a bunch of other stuff. So there's something to be said about, adjust your day, adjust your times, and get up a little earlier. You know what I mean? You guys are so freaking, committed to your sleep. You're more committed to your rest than your dream. You're more committed to your needs and wants, or rather wants, and your lifestyle and your comfort. When you're more committed to your comfort zone than your dream, understand that you're just going to be comfortable the rest of your life. And you'll never achieve your dreams. You're more committed. Whatever you're more committed to, you're going to get. So just to understand that, like for me, it would be very easy. I'm done by 9:30. I'm gonna take the kids fishing. I did yesterday. I did say, you know what? I got this thing cracking and done in time. And I thought, okay, it's sunny out. I'm gonna get these kids out of the house. We're gonna go fishing for a couple hours, get back home, and then crack on this stuff at night. And that's exactly what I did. You know, um, but for the most part, on a regular basis, you've got to lock in. You've got to lock in more than you don't. And what people find out is that, man, I'm making these beats, or I'm doing my marketing thing, or I'm working on my dream, and you're doing it once a week. Because all the other times you're making decisions to watch that Netflix series, let that friend take you out for a drink, go ahead and go to the beach. It's sunny, fuck it, I'm going to have a beer. You've really got to do that. I noticed that with the bar too. Like, I want to go and have a beer at the bar and relax. And I'm like, does that align with what I'm trying to achieve today? I wrote a whole schedule for myself to achieve today. Does going to the bar for 3 hours, drinking, have anything to do or will help me get this done any faster? And if I choose to do that more than not, I'm going to just be, Norm at the bar. I got these big dreams and all these skill sets and I'm real good. Well, that's what you're going to get then. You get to be that regular at the bar. And if that's what you want, and that's what you're putting the effort in to be, that's exactly what's going to happen. I catch myself all the time, like, I got things to do and I'm time to deal with a relationship and this crap. Like, this person wants to be annoying and be upset with me. Psh, I'm busy doing that. It's like, okay, cool. So just expect that if you don't put effort and time in on your marriage, and you put more time into focusing on yourself, that you're probably going to be single. So you have to understand that. You like what do you want, and then put that effort in to get you whatever that is. And I catch myself all the time. Every time I start saying, well, like today I was like, I drove by, I got my truck, I got a big, huge lifted GMC Jimmy, and I just got it going, got the tabs on it, got insurance on it. It was like, I'm going to start driving this thing around. And I started noticing the brakes were like, I got to push too hard. If I want to get my kids in the car, it's not going to be safe. And nor is it's a big moving murder machine. So I'm like, I'm not trying to run somebody over, so I'm like, I'm going to get some brakes. And I keep driving by. I'm going to get some brakes. I'm going to get some brakes. And this morning I drove by. I'm like, no, I'm going to get some brakes. But I already have like 500 things in my head that I got to get completed. And I'm like, okay. And I just went straight to the freaking auto parts place and bought some brakes. Lo and behold, they cost 19 fucking measly dollars. I'm like, $19? I bought these like 10 years ago. Like, that's all these things cost. Like, I'm thinking brakes have got to be expensive, right? And, but the thing was just to do it. Just go do it. It's whatever you're committed to, whatever you're trying to do, you've got to commit to it and put that effort and energy towards getting that thing completed, And for me, now when I drive my truck and buy my truck and say, I'm going to get those brakes done, it's like I feel much more and I believe much more that I'm going to get it done, knowing I'm not lying to myself. Because every time you break a promise to yourself, it's easier to break a promise to yourself. Like saying, I'm going to go to the gym today. And then you're like, yeah, fuck. Oh, this show's really good. I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm kind of tired. And you got to realize tired is some bullshit ass excuse, but it's an easy one to follow. Like, I'm just going to take a nap. That's been fucking robbing me of a couple hours this whole week. I've been doing that, like, what, I'm a little tired. I'm just taking an hour nap. And it's like, you have to say fuck being tired and go through your sleep. Just go, you know what, I'm going to fight through my tiredness and then keep working until like your body catches up, probably eats on a little bit of your muscle for energy. And then, you keep going or drink a bunch more water, try to get past it. But you got to get past that tired little nappy stage. I used to do that at Lowe's. I'd be working and after, or I'd go on break or my lunch and then eat and then come back and just be like kind of tired in the middle of the day going, fuck, I just want to take a nap right now. But you got to get past that. And the next thing you know, you get past that little piece and you're off to the races and you're doing your thing. But, more times than not, the same thing with like the gym. Oh, I'm just too tired. I'm not going to go. You stop giving into that sleep piece, like get enough sleep, do your 8 hours, but adjust your day. Again, like I said, adjust your routine to align with your dream. I think it's somewhere along the lines of that. But it's important. Structure your day around it. Well, if well, what do I do? Well, I sleep 8 hours. I work 8 hours. Okay, that's 16. Okay, that leaves me with 8 more hours of the day. You have 8 more hours after sleep and work. Okay, driving. Okay, that's an hour. Okay, and then lunch. Okay, that's another hour. Okay, so you have 6 more hours. Holy shit! And then 1 hour for your family. Okay, you get 5 more hours. What are you doing with those 5 hours? Okay, you take a shit for an hour. Okay, an hour of pooping and eating. Okay. You have 4 more hours your day. That's more than enough. That's 4 times 7. What's 4 times 7? 4 times 7. 7 times 4. 28. That's 28 hours. That's almost a full job. That's a part-time job, at least a week towards your dream and goals. You have no freaking excuse. You have 8 hours sleep, work, break, lunch, drive time, poop time, girlfriend time. Say you want to watch an hour worth of football. Okay, 3 hours. 3 times 7. That's 21 hours a week. That's still a part-time job a week towards your dreams and efforts. So I have like that. Like people just won't do that. They just won't do that. Those other 3 hours get robbed with an hour here. They let someone call them. They go to the bar. It's tough. Will won't even answer his phone. I'll call him and he's just like, no, I got my morning routine. Good luck. I got a friend who's been calling me for the last week and I just won't answer. Finally sent me a video of his house flooded. I was like, oh shit, like your house flooded. Like, damn.
I got homies too hit me up, man, and I just, you know, I might do a couple texts, and this and that, but then as soon as it's like, hey man, can I call you? Do you got time? That's the end. No more texts. No more texts. Because nope. I don't, man, because I've got stuff to do. I'm looking at, you know what I mean? I'm trying to do some things. Yeah, so
That take effort and time and oh, that's what I was wanting to talk about. Not to just drag this on longer, but what I've been experiencing a lot is being sidetracked, and everything is gonna try and sidetrack you from doing what it is you're trying to achieve. Everything is gonna try and rob you of that moment to really lock in and get your shit done. And you have to be so blinders on, tunnel vision, and just laser focused on what the goal is, and literally be like rigid and no to everything. And that's tough. That's tough because there's a balance if you're married and all that, but you just schedule that time. Schedule that time. You need to schedule your time. Schedule every aspect of your day. I'm going to spend this much time with my wife today. And guaranteed your wife is going to be over your ass a half hour after you spent time with her. She wants to do her own shit too. Or he, whatever the hell you're doing, or your dog. If you want to spend time with your dog, like say you don't have a husband or a wife or significant other, you get a dog or a cat, or maybe your significant other is your favorite movie show. 1 hour, boom, you're done. Schedule that and say this is that much. Like today I said, you know what, I'm not turning that fucking TV on because I know what's going to happen. Oh no, Joe Budden fired all the people on the Joe Budden podcast. Oh shit, I gotta know. That's a 2-hour commitment if I want to hear all that shit. No, But then I organize my day. Hey, I gotta sit for an hour, wait in front of my kids' school to pick them up, so I'm not waiting for 3 hours in that big ass line. And I sit there and I'm like, well, I'll turn on that podcast and watch that while I'm sitting here waiting for my kids. Like you have to restructure your day, rethink that whole piece. But it's a lot of things are going to try to sidetrack you and take you away from your focus. And it's super tough. Like today I wanted to fucking do the brakes on my truck, but I was like, no, I have to fix this funnel so that it starts delivering more sales. And I did that. But I had to do it. I had to literally go, it's sunny out. I want a beer. I'll go out there, do the brakes. It's kind of like, for me, it's stress relieving to work on a car. And I'm like, I'll just take the tires off, put the brakes on, it'll be fucking awesome. But it's like every day I keep coming up with another excuse of why not to do something towards what my goals and dreams are. And I keep coming up with something to do. Oh, I gotta take these kids out. They just gotta get out. It's like, okay, there's another day, and then tomorrow it'll be the brakes, and then the next day you need to get that dirt bike started, man. Come on now. Oh, you know, then the next day it'll be you need to clean that garage, and the next day your wife now sidetracks you and it's like, let's do the yard, and then the next day you're like, oh, let's go, you know, relax and go to the winery, you know, like the next thing you know, you find yourself just going through the motions in your life and living life, and living life is awesome. But if you're trying to leave a legacy or do something bigger or get yourself out of the situation you're in, it's madly important that you're a little bit more strict with your time, because the only thing I can think when I diagnose your problem without even seeing you is that you have not applied your time correctly. You know, you have not applied your time correctly, and that's why you haven't achieved anything, you know, that you're trying to do. You keep letting everything else, you keep letting life drive you as opposed to you controlling your life. You know, you're living your life and going through the motions as opposed to grabbing the steering wheel and steering through this life. You know, don't let life happen to you. Make life happen. You know what I mean? That's there's a lot to be said about that. And when I see Will with those shit, I keep thinking that I wear my sunglasses at night.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so again, go for what you got to do. Check that description. You're gonna have the daily checkoff sheet. It's gonna help you start your day, kind of tackle your goals and whatever it is you're doing. You write a list of things you got to do. By doing that, you're going to probably go work out. You'll probably go do some stuff. You get things done, you know. Even I worked out today, believe it or not. It wasn't much, but I did it. You know. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then also when you put your comments in, let us know what you like, don't like. We need your feedback. It could be negative. Negative is positive for us, because we will flip that on its head. Please put something in there so we can kind of just get better and deliver the best information. Peace.